Hello, welcome to the House of the Spirit. Welcome home. I hope you are doing well in this Christmas season. The New Year's Eve is almost around the corner now, and I decided to change the setting and bring a little bit more light because this is the darkest time of the year and also the time of the year where we find the light within, and being a very healing light, and a light that is going to shine upon maybe some difficult subjects and some things that we usually would not want to face. I wanted to do a collective reading because I feel like there is a lot of baggage that is not being integrated or processed, especially after what happened in the last 3-4 years. I believe we do, as a collective, have to understand what happened and to learn the lessons before we move on and really are set free from the baggage and all the emotional kind of negative, and there was so much confusion. I feel confused even while I'm talking. It's kind of confusing. I think it's triggering to the mind, this subject, because I don't think it's something that we want to face. But I think that if we don't, we will be hurting the coming generation. And I also was inspired to do this reading, especially because I watch children and I see that they behave so differently. Not even comparing with my own childhood, but with children who were born or who were a little bit more conscious before this whole global change happened. So I would like to ask the Spirit to aid us in healing this and in processing this information and unpacking all the lost, bits that got just, it's very confused. I feel it's very confusing. And I think that children right now are much more anxious and they have a hard time focusing because there are many, trust issues, and with the confusion, it's like the world was completely, the ground beneath our feet was removed, and we were faced with a situation that affected our being on the survival level, and that hurt us tremendously. Also, our minds are very foggy and confused because of living in so much fear for so long. It changed our DNA, it changed us forever. And I see that in young children. I want to see if Spirit can help us heal this situation and show us what we want, what we have to integrate. So, seeds, potential, explosion, simplicity, and humility. Beautiful. Revisions, learning in silence, studying, reason, discernment. And we have travel, seasickness, being lost, disorientation, release. A very dark set of cards, right? Duality, alternation, paradox, hardship, mediation, and threshold. Absolutely. I already see that this was necessary for us to transition into the new era, the new coming era. And I see there are a few more cards here. I'm going to take them. There are 3. I think I'm going to keep them here for later. Or even maybe, no, I'm going to keep them to the side. Now I'm going to for some tarot cards to clarify. Okay, 9 of Wands. 3 of Pentacles. 5 of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles. A lot of Pentacles. A lot of changes in the material world. Changes. Death card. 5 of Swords. Okay, one more. The Strength card. So, right away we see a lot of conflict. And I think it's very clear that we are coming from an era that required a certain set of skills, and we are now coming into a different energy, completely different. So this fear and this situation, this crisis was needed in order for us to be more discerning about who we trust, about our institutions, and to be more thorough and more empowered in our citizenship, more knowledgeable about society in general and about the world. So I already see that this situation made us open our minds to the magnitude of our actions. Yeah, the impact that our actions have on others. I'm not only talking about the planet or the environment or nature. I'm just much more focused on the sphere of the human activity. And I believe that that is the aspect that's most affected with that crisis. I think that the whole being lost made us more aware of what is the most important, so priorities, and owning our power, owning our land, or owning our territory, our own bodies, owning our health, owning our soul, our food supply. So the ownership, the stewardship of the land, the ownership of our own social and economical structures, the way they are connected, interconnected, and also the way we control them or not. So this is what is needing the discernment. And after we discern, we have to let go of what doesn't work. And that is a process that is very hard, because I actually think, and I don't want to scare anyone, but I think that this was just the beginning. So it's going to be still a little bit hard for a long time. And I think that this generation of young people is being prepared for different challenges. And they are already in a lot of challenges themselves, so that they are used to a certain kind of rhythm. here with alternation, you see the rhythm and that duality, you know, creating ups and downs, and creating patterns of existence that for us might be very hard, very tough, but for them it's going to come very easily. And right now it's very hard for us to teach them, because many of the things that are going to come and become real, they are the teachers and not us. So the only thing I think we can do really is just be, because that is the hardest part I see here, is to not focus so much on this stress created by this very different rhythm. I don't know if it's exactly faster. We tend to say, oh, it's going faster, but actually some things are going slower. And for instance, you see like a lot of young people have a lot of difficulty maturing and venturing into the world because of the fear, because of all the overwhelming information. It's actually really too much information. So I think that the best we can do, us, the more responsible adult people, is to kind of just hold the presence and just not add more information to the table. They already have all the access, all the information, the knowledge is there. They can study, they can learn, they can go at it at their own pace and time. And I see that we are the roots. And maybe we are going to be seen as a more humble, more rooted, and more simple than they are, because they are so fast paced, at least in their mind. And in the fast pace is the amount of information that you can process. If you are fast, you're going to be really, you know, like it's like a machine. So actually it's exactly like a machine. It's like interacting with artificial intelligence is going to be something that is very natural to this group of people who were born right now, who were born during these past 3 years, and they come with so much change. So we were used to a certain way of doing things, of cooperating, of managing our efforts. And for us, this is a crisis. And for them, it's going to be business as usual. But what I think the problem here will be is actually the feeling of being lost in their mind, their own mind, because the possibilities are so many that it's overwhelming. So we are here to keep the roots, to put the feet on the ground, to help them put their feet on the ground. So when I say that our contribution is just like silence and presence, I really, really mean it, like literally. So if you are with this generation that is born in this time, they are so, I mean, it was such a deep, scary situation, and on such a global scale. Actually, I think that is the most innovative and kind of traumatic part of what happened. Is not the fact that it's violent or scary, because violence and fear has been around for, you know, since forever, but it's the scale, it's the global, you know, the way that it went global, and it was so fast. That is the true, you know, the essence of this situation that makes all the difference, and just creates this clear line between the past and the present, the era that is now dawning. And if they are confused, they will be more afraid. And they need silence and presence, because that is the most precious gift we have to give them. Because they have the technology, we gave them the technology, we created, with the collective has created so much. We now have a new entity that is being slowly, piece by piece, built. That is the artificial intelligence. And the most dangerous, the biggest danger here is that they are lost in their own mind, lost in a kind of maze that has no purpose and no meaning. Because this is the card of defeat and of feeling, completely, overwhelmed by whatever challenge you are going through. But it's also the inverted pentagram. So you see that something is actually being created, but it's like a Frankenstein. You see that? And so this is Venus in Aquarius. It's a Frankenstein, something that shouldn't be, that is not good, it's not natural, and it's not rooted in anything. It's just confusing, and it doesn't produce anything. It's not clear, the colors are muddy, you're just lost in your own thoughts, and it's a maze that you can't really get out of. And what's being created with that is something, because this also creates, right? It creates a lot of negativity, and it creates something that shouldn't be. It's the best explanation I have. And I think that it's very clear to me that we can help them with this if we keep them, real, keep it grounded, protect the body and protect the soul because of that. And by protecting the body, you have to use the land to do that. You see her, the Queen of Pentacles, she's like looking at her state and feeling, powerful, and feeling like she owns, her own wealth and her own body, and she's content. And the scepter here with the crystal, it shows that she has the power to achieve her spirit. Her own spirituality is very fulfilling. So it's not that she is materialistic. She is very connected to her own body and also to her spirit. And we do that by not giving up and having the passion to hold that reality for them. Okay, so now we're going to see what's happening. I'm sorry. What are the other cards we have? Exactly. Soil, slowness, physical body, depression, and lack. You see how this slowness can also cause what I mean, it's not causing the feeling of defeat. The thing is, if they are not learning about their body and learning that the slowness is not a defeat, because it will come as a contrast with the speed of the information, with the kind of illusion that you have, your world the world is in the palm of your hand, if you have a cell phone or if you have some type of technology that you can know everything, everything is done, and there's nothing left, there's nothing left to discover, to feel. If that's the case, that can create depression. So, but if you are rooted and if you hold the space for the body, slowly, slowness, touch the soil, touch nature, slowly it will come, because it's natural. It's not something that you can accelerate with the mind. It has its own rhythm, like duality. It has its own process. Impediments: rules, willpower, refusal, discipline, and responsibility. So I do think that it talks about the collective mission right now to really be empowered to assume this responsibility for the younger generations and for the coming generations, and to be conscious that this is just the beginning. And this process will last for a long, long time. And whatever we do now, if we add to this confusion, it will be a disservice to all. Then we have secret: mystery, stability, protection, solitude, and ordeal. I think that this talks to me about the way we will bring this rootedness. I think that solitude, learning to be alone, it's not exactly learning to be alone, to be, without other people. It's learning to be with other people, but in your own power and in your own space, in order to achieve that stability and to be protected. And this talks to me a little bit also about contacting spirit guides and contacting the other side. Because the mystery, it talks to me about being open to new ideas and suggestions, and to be a bit like meditative in order to receive the guidance and to be protected in this situation. I want to know more about this feeling, how this feeling and the future. So we know that there's a threshold here, and that there's the before and the after. It's going to be completely different from now on. So I would want to clarify a little bit more about this future. DNA. It also came up in the video I did before. Purge. Okay. And completion. Okay. It's very, very clear to me. So, DNA, sharing, primordial essence, eternity. Purge, healing, work, cleansing, focus, priority. And completion. Endings, letting go, blessings, and satisfaction. What I see here is that this whole process was needed for us to clean our DNA of some kind of, I won't say, it's not garbage. It's not garbage that I mean, but it's something like it wasn't working. It wasn't needed. That's the, yeah. It's something that was useless, that didn't have any use anymore, and it had to go. So all the health, issues and the focus on health, if it's not coming from fear, if it's coming from, you see here, if it's coming from a healing perspective, and if you have discernment about your what you're focusing on and what you're cleansing, you can know exactly what is good for you, what is not good for you. And this knowledge about our own, the nature of human life. So I see here it's the way we give the way we I'm getting a little bit tongue-tied, because it's so abstract, but it's so specific that it's hard for me to explain. I'm so sorry. Bear with me. It's the way we pass on the information through our genes and through our memes, and the way culture and the body and all of this will interact in the future is going to be so different than what it is now. And it's because of this crisis that it's going to be completely changed. And this generation that is a little bit more nervous, a little bit more, sometimes even more scared, they have more fears than the previous ones. I see that. I'm hoping that you comment, because I would really want to know your feedback on this, because I have this vision and I want to, I'm open to more information on this, because it's very meaningful for me. It was a tough time. It was a tough time for everyone, but it was needed for us to let go of a lot of unnecessary baggage. And this will end when this work is done. It will take a little bit of time, maybe some generations, because this is something that goes across time. DNA, the information of eternity, the true essence of the human being. So what is going to be left is something that is very specific, and that is very it's exactly what is needed in order to move on to the new era. And I believe that all this had the purpose of preparing us for that. And even the fear is triggering a lot of past issues that come from, I don't know, ancestors, and all of that is going to be revised and, here with the revisions, because the amount of knowledge that we are going to access is so massive, and it's like almost distorting time and making us kind of like lost, because we now have so much access that like it's almost like time is bending around our brains, it's bending around our consciousness, and it's creating a completely new reality, because the brain is receptive, but it also emits. And that the holographic sphere of reality is going to be completely different because of this. And that sphere is also changing our biology. And this healing work is going to be fundamental to that next step in evolution, in our collective evolution. Yeah. Wow. A little bit overwhelming. It's so massive. The energy is just so abstract, but at the same time it's so pertinent, it's so specific. I'm very grateful that I could channel this, and I think I will be remembering this for a long time, and maybe I will do some more readings about more specific situations on this particular question that has just, changed the face of the earth. The amount of fear and projection that we went through these past 4 years, is just so much to process, right? But for this generation that is coming, that's easy. It's for us that's hard. So we keep the faith in our own standing, in our own, 2 feet. We know that our physical body has needs. We keep ourselves grounded and hold the space for silence and for alone time with others. So the collective alone time. be alone in the collective, knowing that we are all connected and that we share this information and that you're never alone. Because if you are always searching and searching and searching and searching, the kids now, they will just be more anxious, and you will transmit to them more anxiety and more and more and more. So you just don't want to absorb so much information, and just be present, be silent, and be alone, connected. Yes, that is the way to overcome all the challenges and to help this coming generation to stay grounded and stay happy and healthy, in order for them to pass the information down to the next generation. Wow, okay. Well, this is what I see today. I thank you so much for being here and for going on this amazing journey, visionary journey with me. And I hope to see you very soon. I hope you like the video, and I hope you subscribe to the channel and you share the videos. And I'll see you very soon. Thank you.